This is you, right? That's you. All right, 3 o'clock on this Thursday afternoon. Welcome aboard the Postgame show alongside Elijah Campbell. I'm Jay Phillips. We are broadcasting live today, actually from a couple of spots. We're at Williams-Brice Stadium. As we speak, we are upstairs near some of the football meeting rooms. Later on, we'll be downstairs in the Cockaboos Club once Coach Paul Mainieri's press conference begins, and then we'll be dragging a few guests by throughout the course of the day. But I want to say a special thank you to Charles Bloom, to Steve Fink, to Kent Reichert for allowing us to be in here today ahead of all this. We are expecting Coach Mainieri to stop by our location before he goes to his press conference. I will freely tell you right now, a lot of this is fluid, as I know they're doing photo shoots and they're doing other interviews and a lot of different things today, a lot of moving parts, but we are,
say the least.
We are very happy that the university has allowed us to be in here to get this done. The voice of the Gamecocks, Derek Scott, may stop by for a few minutes here in just a second before he has to do a few things with Coach Mainieri.
Call that a cameo in this industry.
Yeah.
Nice cameo from Derek.
Exactly. And we're hoping to get a few other particulars around the baseball program through the course of the afternoon, maybe a couple of our media buddies that will be downstairs in just a little bit. We will have the full press conference for you live at 4 o'clock. Expect that to go, I don't know, half hour-ish, right?
Yeah.
Give or take.
Wherever I've been told that Coach Mainieri is very good with media, really good with press conferences. Yeah. So he might break the 30-minute mark.
You never know, especially in an introductory kind of a thing.
Yeah, because we're getting to know him.
Yeah.
I was told directly from someone who covered him for a while that whenever she was doing TV, she would bring an extra battery in case he talked through the lifespan of one of the batteries. So he's a talker. That is what I've been told to expect, is that he is certainly a talker.
Well, we're talkers, and as we said here real quick before he has to go do stuff, another talker is our good friend Derek Scott, the voice of the Gamecocks. How are you?
I've been described in a lot of various ways over the years. Talker is one of the more accurate ones, I think one would say.
Yeah. Well, I used to say, or get report cards, Jay's a good student, but he talks a lot in class.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, well, look at me now.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they pay me for it.
I think my first issue along those lines was in kindergarten when I was it was explained to my mother, who was also a school teacher, that he doesn't seem to want to, quiet down at nap time.
Right.
Truth be told, that never changed.
Yeah. My mother was a teacher for a few years too in my early days. So I get it. This will be a refrain throughout the day, but now that we have you, how surprised was Derek Scott when the name Paul Mainieri popped up?
Initially, I was very surprised. I did not claim to be on the inside of this process. I don't try and get myself injected into those situations because I'm neither a reporter,
right,
nor someone working full-time in the department. So when our season ended, I was basically going back to my job, my day job. So I was watching it and listening to you guys and trying to keep up with it, but that was not a name anyone was speaking of. So I had not even gotten on the periphery.
Right.
So it was initially shock. And then quickly, wow, wait a minute. This adds up. This makes a lot of sense. And then you start talking about the pieces of the staff that are coming together. And it didn't take long to go from shock to, really enthused.
Yeah. And it does seem, and look, everything is still in motion and things can change, but it does seem like this has enthused the roster, at least those that can come back,
right,
to want to be a part of what's going on.
Yeah, I think so. That's the people I've talked to who talk to those kids a little more day to day have said the same thing. And so I think that's a great place to start, because in any sport in the modern era, coaching changes can really mean go back to ground zero. And whether you want to or not, some people want to blow it up,
right,
but you don't necessarily think that has to be the way it's done. And I don't think that would have been the intention here. But sometimes you don't have a choice, because the natural inclination is hit the portal.
Yeah.
And to see what little, if any, directions folks have gone in that lead down that path has been really, I think, a great starting spot for this bunch as they get together. And I know Coach already met with the players and shared a vision and really brought a lot of energy to that meeting from what Coach Lee had mentioned. So, yeah, I think that's a really good side story to all this.
Yeah. When you look at this ball club, one of the things Elijah and I have been talking about a lot, Derek, this team did win 80 baseball games the last couple of seasons. This is not Paul Mainieri having to come in like some coaches have to do and pick up a bunch of broken pieces and
Right.
and find a way to rebuild this team. It may be not quite just a reload either, somewhere in between, but yeah, there's still a solid South Carolina baseball program.
Absolutely, the skeleton is fine.
That's what you can say.
Good bones on this
The
thing.
bones, yeah. Better phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But you think about it. Just look down the road in Athens. Georgia went from last year kind of a rough looking squad to bang hosting a super regional this year. So you can change it quickly in the modern game, but I think everybody'd like it to be positioned where you don't have to make a drastic swing in year one to do so. And even on the basketball side, think about what, when the two new coaches came in, about what Missouri did in year one.
Yeah.
They made the drastic swing for year one success. Everybody was very excited about it. But then in year two, it flipped back on them, in South Carolina, which had gone more of a slower, steadier build under Coach Paris. Suddenly the Gamecocks were the ones in much better shape.
Yeah. And when you knew of, Coach Kingston getting let go, and we have this whole week of basically, being in kind of limbo, so to speak, because this coaching search was played pretty close to the chest. How much of, I guess, Paul Mainieri's his resume checks the check boxes that you probably had envisioned for the South Carolina baseball coach, and how much did it kind of exceed that? Because we went through resumes all week for an entire week of shows.
Right.
And a lot of the names we said, it was, they went to Omaha, not they won a national championship and have taken multiple teams there. It checked a lot of boxes for us, but how many did it check for you whenever you heard this name?
I can't imagine, other than if you just were in that camp of it needs to be a Gamecock, what else was there you need to check? I mean, he's SEC proven. He's won consistently over a long, long period of time. He's dealt with a fan base that has incredibly high expectations. And he's worked in differing environments and found success in them. When you think about the contrast between Notre Dame baseball and LSU baseball, and he is a guy that has such strong relationship connections with Ray Tanner that you're not going to come into this situation with things you don't know about, that you have to learn the hard way. That that's not going to be the case. So no, it checks them all, every last bit of it.
And then with the coaching staff he's bringing in too, I mean, he's got a pretty good staff that he's bringing in. He's really assembled. Good. I think we have determined almost like an all-star cast of supporting actors here, if you will. What was your kind of thoughts of hearing who's going to be coming in, Monty staying, and the supporting guests that we have here for coaches?
I mean, Coach Rooney's got an amazing resume and has the recruiting chops to make you go in the modern game. Absolutely. We know Monty's the same way. That's two big pieces. And then, Coach Hendry's one that I'm hearing amazing stuff about as far as pitching acumen and tying into the modern game.
Yeah.
So
and what he's going to bring in terms of what they're around every day. I mean, this is now a Virginia program that's in its third straight College World Series. So there's that part of it all too. I know you got stuff to go do, so we'll holler at you. Do the Reds have any pieces the Braves could trade for at any point in time?
Hey, they're getting hot right now.
I don't think we're in the selling market. we're trying to be buyers. I hope.
Well, my team is struggling. So I may need
it's struggling. Your view of struggling.
They're like 6 games over 500. Exactly. The world is falling. We're trying to get to 500 here, buddy.
Exactly. He speaks the truth.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate you. That is our good friend Derek Scott, the voice of the Gamecocks and lifelong Cincinnati Red fan.
That's two of us at this table. You're outnumbered here, Jay.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying. I'm trying to keep my head.
Can you guys get us somebody? We're struggling.
Well, the Braves are not
6 games over 500.
The Braves are not doing well.
One of like 5 teams in the entire National League that has a winning record.
Yeah, I get it.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
They're still in first place in the wild card chase.
By a healthy amount.
Yeah, I know Coach Mainieri has entered the building, and he'll be with us in just a little bit. Got a few things going on before he comes to us. And again, 4:00 today, the official introductory press conference as Paul Mainieri becomes the next Gamecock baseball coach. It's a big deal hire. I know. Listen, nothing's ever going to be 100%, but I think the last question you asked Derek is one that really illustrates where this thing is. You wanted somebody who, either had some Omaha experience, or in the case of, say, a Chris Pollard or a Cliff Godwin had been in the supers on multiple occasions, had won conference tournaments, and by the way, Coach Mainieri won 6 SEC tournaments.
Yeah, I got that jotted down too. He's a tournament coach.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and I how much that matters, again, greatly depends on one's point of view, right?
Correct.
But it does illustrate an ability to get into that environment and win. I used to say that about Dave Odom. Like it pained me sometimes back in the day when those teams just so barely missed the NCAAs, because I knew Dave. I mean, listen, I know nobody cares, but you'll see the point I'm making. Dave Odom won back-to-back NITs. Like you'd be like, some people are like, so what?
Single elimination
But
tournaments.
you got to get in, and like that run that they made against the Florida team in the SEC tournament that ultimately went on to win the national title. South Carolina controlled that game. Florida just had better players. And they
just had 3 NBA players on that team. One who's about to win his first title now.
I don't think the aggregate total of that game hit 90. Or it was at least right around
like 47, 46.
Okay, yeah, so right over 90, right? So I mean, but it was such a South Carolina game. Mm-hmm. It's just that Florida found a way to win, and but that's what I'm saying about Paul Mainieri. I mean, here's a guy who's been to the World Series 6 times. He's won it. He's played for it on a second occasion. All those SEC tournament championships. And like Derek just said too, and you and I talked about it earlier in the week, I think the only fan base in the Southeastern Conference that puts even more pressure and has even higher expectations and demands on its baseball program than South Carolina is Louisiana State. I don't think there's I don't think A&M does it. I don't think Arkansas does it. I don't think Florida does it. Hell, sometimes at Florida in big games, the ballpark's 2/3 full.
It's cyclical. It's cyclical everywhere else except places like South Carolina and LSU.
And I know they sell them out at State, and the folks in Starkville do. They have high expectations, and again, Arkansas sells a bunch of seats at Baum, and they've got it. But I've been doing this for a while, man. LSU number one, in terms of, and they may be the best baseball program in the conference too, but number 2 in that respect is South Carolina. Mm-hmm. And the good news is this coach is going to come in. He might even go, I kid here, right? But he might even go, oh, these people aren't that demanding.
Well, he's like, I've coached in Baton Rouge for over a decade. This is nothing. This is nothing to me.
This is not so bad. They told me these people were having high expectations.
I'm comfortable here.
Yeah. So, but looking forward to talking to Coach in just a little bit. Jay Phillips, Elijah Campbell. We are broadcasting live from Williams-Brice Stadium, not Founders Park. Again, the room much bigger downstairs for the assembled media that will be making its way in shortly. 4:00, we'll have the full press conference for you as long as it goes right here across the Game Network. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and more guests stopping by. Again, we are expecting Coach Mainieri to stop by our location here at Williams-Brice in just a little bit. Get into a few other news notes of the day, certainly, including something that I want to get into on the other side, and hopefully we'll have a segment to be able to do this. But the Big 12 is about to do something that I would strongly urge them not to do. All right, we'll get into that and a lot of Carolina baseball as the postgame show continues.
We're about to discuss something that we'd strongly urge the Big 12 not do, but I want to urge you to do something. If you do have some weight issues and you have a weight loss goal and you're having a hard time getting there, I would urge you to talk to my friends at Columbia Secret for Weight Loss. I had a goal pretty similar to a lot of people, nothing outlandish, just 15 pounds, and to be able to get to where I'm more comfortable in my own skin. I can be more active, live a healthier lifestyle. I wanted to accomplish multiple goals here, and Paul Grant and Shaylin over at Columbia Secret for Weight Loss have helped me not just eclipse that, but I'm sleeping better, I'm eating better, my habits are significantly better, and they do all of this without any shots, without any pills, nothing crazy, just a good personalized plan for you for different types of people. And if you would like to learn the secret of losing to up to 1 pound of unhealthy fat per day and start your own success story like myself, give them a call, 803-824-4210. Results may vary.